One day Gaia showed up at the house of Batiatus Sr. and she was a vision, and I decided this time I would protect that woman and one day marry her if I could. And she noticed me training and she said to Lucretia, "It seems you have some beautiful gladiators." Lucretia got a bit irritated with her and she hugged her old friend and said, "It's good to see you again, Gaia. I missed you, old friend." I watched them and I smiled because her husband Lentulus Batiatus was out of town on business for a few weeks and I thought that she must have plans for me, maybe, but I didn't care about all that really. All that was on my mind is freedom, but I always enjoyed having sex with beautiful women. So when Gaia and Lucretia had a chat about me, Lucretia brought up me in the conversation, complimenting my skills as a lover, boasting that she tried her best to have sex with me for many days, but she couldn't keep up with my unlimited stamina and my rather large member. So when they called me in, they told me to remove my clothes and they removed theirs as well, and they told me to have sex with them both for as long as they could handle it, and I did. And by the time I was done with them, and they said, "You have done enough, you may rest here with us and please eat some food." And I said, "Thank you, Domina." And Gaia said to Lucretia, "So this is how you entertain yourself with this lovely man?" And she said, "He only stopped because I asked him to. He doesn't have to stop." And she said, "Really?" And Gaia said, "Well, I don't want to stop either then." And I continued to pleasure Gaia, and she lasted for almost 2 days before she passed out, and then they both ordered me to be taken back to my prison barracks, and they sent me a beautiful slave woman many times since I'd been here, who was a virgin, and her name is Diona, and I made love to her tenderly many times, and she grew very fond of me, and I heard she is so beautiful that I enjoyed having sex with her very much. She has perfect skin and a perfect body, and I also remembered that she was sexually assaulted in the Spartacus TV series Gods of the Arena, but now that wouldn't happen. I hoped, since I was giving her a big dose of my big vitamin D, she was getting the business by me almost every day, and unlike the Roman women, I actually loved her, and she actually sexually satisfied me most of the time, which is why they sent her to begin with, because she pleases me unlike the other slave women. I love her so. Me and Diona would often talk about having a life beyond slavery, and I told her that even if I was free, that I still wouldn't be free of this house. I don't plan on leaving this house. No, I intend to stay and buy it from them one day or something like that. A big fuck you to at least one of the families that owned me as a slave to buy their house, because they are either dead or I had enough money to buy it from them, or respect enough to know that I am above them in power. And she said, "You really hate them that much?" And I said, "Yes, because they think they are above me, and that's just stupid and arrogant." And she said, "But you're the strongest gladiator and you will win your freedom." And I said, "I hope so, but Romans are tricky. Most of them find out I'm invaluable and they try everything to prevent me being free, but I'm hoping the house of Batiatus is different, because I made him an offer he couldn't really refuse. I told him I will stay here and be his gladiator even if I'm free. He doesn't even have to pay me much money. If he doesn't want to, not at all, I can get another job somewhere else and continue to be his gladiator in exchange for my freedom, and if he's wise he will free me, I'd hope, and if not, then I have other plans to free myself, but I'd rather earn my freedom legally if possible." And Diona said, "You will earn your freedom and we will get married hopefully." And I said, "Yes, my love, one day we will be married, I hope, if nothing bad happens and the fighting in the arenas continue." And one day Batiatus said, "You are also a champion of my house, and you said that even if you're free that I could still get your services as a gladiator for free, right?" And I said, "Yes sir, I intend to get a job somewhere else, and I will also become a hero in the Roman Legion, and I will become a soldier of fortune, but I have to be a free man to be a Roman soldier, and I was hoping you could help me with that." And Batiatus said, "As long as you fight for me after you're freed, I have no problems with letting you compete for your freedom in the next big arena games." And I said, "If you allow me to free myself, I will owe you my life, Domina." And he said, "Good, then I will let everyone know that you will be competing for your freedom in the upcoming games, because you have more than earned it, and this is your opportunity, Syrian, for freedom. Do not waste it." And I said, "I don't intend to, sir." And he said, "I heard a rumor that you were a slave to about 2 Roman women living together. Is that true, that they used you for sex?" And I said, "Yes sir." And he said, "How very interesting."